How many resellers do you actually think work really, really hard, and yet they get the same exact results consistently? One thing I had to realize when it came to reselling and business in general is it's not about how hard you work. It's actually about the execution. See, a lot of us can become overworked, frustrated, burnt out because we are working our asses off only to get the same crumbs. Well, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how you can actually start reselling without putting in as much effort. Now, I'm not going to give fake promises, nor am I going to put you in a direction that I haven't gone myself. What I'm going to do is share with you guys a system that I utilize currently for me to be able to not only own my own business, run my warehouse, make sure I have products, make sure inventory is coming in, make sure I'm meeting with suppliers, but also sell and make money on my own. I'm talking about making money on the side with eBay, Mercari, OfferUp, Facebook, and more platforms, which we will discuss. Not only am I going to tell you the system, but I'm also going to talk about the places you should source from and what the benefits and also what the bad downfalls are, as I've sourced from every single place at once. And I've also did it separately, especially when I was just starting out. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Jones. I have been reselling for over a decade, so I have a little bit of experience under my belt. I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to be perfect. I've lost money, made money. But one thing I always do when I turn this camera on is be real and keep it straight. Because see, being a successful reseller isn't about how much money you start with. It's not about how much product you have. It's all about how much execution and the foundation and system you implement, put in place for you to be able to be successful. Let's take a deep dive into exactly what you guys should be doing before and as you source products. Now, let's talk about lazy. The word lazy equals broke mindset. It's going to equal someone doing something the same way, getting the same results that end up burning them out in the first place. That's what I mean by lazy. I don't mean just sitting on your butt, not doing anything, because let's be real, you're not going to get any result doing that, right? Now, I want to talk about the first place that I started sourcing, and I had ups and downs, okay? AliExpress, right? Now, AliExpress is easily accessible. Everyone knows about it. It's not based in the United States of America, but it has cheap products and really cheap pricing. And you honestly get what you pay for. I will say that. But one thing I will say is it helped me because it was easy for me to be able to access the platform and also look through the endless products that they have, which kind of opened my eyes to even being able to start this reselling business. So AliExpress is a good site, but it also has its downfalls. The quality isn't as advertised all the time. You usually do get cheap pricing, but then when you're actually ordering things of quality, the shipping also is going to cost you. Why? Because they have to get it through customs. And this can be hard. Trust me, I do this. I ship overseas and I ship in the United States of America. It does get difficult, but they pass that pricing on to you instead of bundling it in the price of the product. Now, just speaking on pricing, that's great, but we're not even talking about the long shipping periods. And there's been plenty of times where I've ordered a product that I know for a fact customers want, but it did not get here in time and I've lost the sale. I invested money and now I'm just out, right? Long shipping times, sometimes the package don't come and sometimes the stuff is damaged. That is AliExpress in a nutshell. And I would recommend AliExpress to new resellers that don't really know if they're really serious, but want an easy way to see if they have the mentality, the potential, or even just the patience to be able to list and let products sit to see them actually sell. Now, when it comes to DHgate, which we're going to talk about second, I don't source there because it does get bulk pricing and it's really popular for accessories. I personally have seen long ship times. I've also seen orders just not come, orders be different than what the quality is supposed to be. But this is another good platform for people that are just starting. The thing I'll say about DHgate is you're going to see a bunch of affiliates, right? A bunch of people online talking in videos like me, and then letting you know, hey, I have an affiliate link below for this product. If you get it, they're going to get paid. Now, this could be good for them, but maybe not for you, because a lot of people are affiliates or partners with DHgate, but don't even use the products that DHgate sends them for free to promote to you. So the reason I don't use DHgate is the marketing is way more consistent than the actual quality of the products. And that could become a really big issue. Now, lastly, Alibaba. Now, this was really popular for people getting replicas and people getting products, but I do want to make this clear. This is the best best website for resellers that are looking to scale and don't have any private connections, right? You're able to talk to and deal with factories overseas. And again, it is a benefit when it comes to you trying to build that business up, because you're going to be able to get a large quantity of products for a good amount of money. Shipping is okay, but what I kind of don't like, it's not beginner friendly because you have to know how to negotiate. I don't just buy products from AliExpress at all anymore, like at all. But when I did, I really loved the fact that I was able to talk to people, negotiate, and I was able to try and get the prices as low as possible. This was a benefit, and it also helped me learn to actually be able to negotiate with resellers and also suppliers in person. Now, speaking of that, you do need documentation if you're dealing with certain suppliers, and also you're going to want to make sure that you're inspecting what you expect with the packaging, because I've had times where it wasn't as described, and usually I had to fight tooth and nail to be able to get the supplier to replace my items. But these are the platforms I would say you could actually start literally getting products from right now, and they're commercial, they're everywhere, and people use them all over. Lastly, we're gonna talk about independent suppliers. Now, this changed the game for me because I was able to find independent suppliers when I had my first phone store, and I was able to actually source products that the store down the street didn't have, right? And the best part was they were located in my city, in my area. Now, I've grown since then. I've become my own private supplier now. I have a website, wespoi.com, which stands for We Supply, and we are a wholesale brand that sells electronics wholesale to resellers like you and me. Now, one thing I will say is that actually was so lucrative to me and so beneficial to me as a reseller that I wanted to stop selling products in the stores at 4 in Philadelphia and actually just become a wholesaler and start selling to people. I do business to business, business to consumers, and I also sell myself. But one thing I will say, there is a negative to private suppliers. It's that the cost per unit may be a slight hike. It may be higher because the products are now in your vicinity, which is obviously costly. Now, I'm not talking about buying 100 products. I'm talking about we are sourcing over 5,000 units per pallet, which could be very costly. And to some people, it could be a detriment to their business when it comes to their bottom line. But as a wholesaler, we find that it is easier to source these products in one bulk, pay up front, and now distribute these to the people in our area. And this is beneficial. Now, for you as a reseller, you would want a private supplier no matter what in your pocket, because you may need a product ASAP. You may want a product that doesn't need to go through customs and may get confiscated. There's a bunch of different things. But again, it may be a little higher. So you have to actually look at what products are worth sourcing from private suppliers and what's not worth sourcing from private suppliers. Okay, so we talked about the lazy mentality. We talked about suppliers. Now I want to talk about platform. It's important that you are listing on multiple platforms. You want to make money while you're sleeping or while you're doing other things and delegating yourself to other things in your life. You got to make sure that these platforms are working for you. Now, I recommend having at least 4 to 5 platforms that you're listing products on. Now, I know some of you may say, oh, I already have some platforms I'm listing on. I'm not making the money. Well, the reason you're not making money on every platform, just like you may be doing on one, is because one has to be your main master market platform. But the others need to be platforms that you're actually doing different things, selling items, but in different ways. We're talking about bundling, adding variances, doing some type of discount. And most importantly, you want to make sure you're just stretching your brand. I want to ask you this, right? When you go and order from Amazon, right? Do you actually, if somebody says, oh, that's a cool thing, do you tell the person, oh, I got it from user 683 Jacob? No, you say, I got it from Amazon. Our main thing is we want people to not think of it like that. We want them to think of it, oh yeah, I got this from Amazon, from WESPOY, or I got this from this company. You don't want to just hide behind the brand that you are borrowing. And we're borrowing these platforms because most of them we don't have to pay for. Now, there is one platform I'm not going to actually suggest, and I want to get this out the way, and it is Amazon, right? So Amazon has one of the biggest, and it is the biggest platform when it comes to listing. The problem with Amazon is that they're direct competitors with a lot of their electronic sellers because they have Amazon Choice products, which obviously they're promoting, and people, they respect Amazon. Amazon also restricts you from listing certain items. You got to get permissions. It's a bunch of things. And if we're talking about the lazy way, that is not going to be a platform we want to use. Now, the platforms we do want to use are platforms like eBay, OfferUp, Facebook, Mercari, Poshmark, and platforms, even Walmart, Seller Central, things of that nature where we don't actually have to pay a startup price. Yes, we have to pay fees, obviously, but we want to get on platforms that are going to allow us to not have to pay, but borrow their brand and maybe just pay a little fee and we're good. Amazon, you got to pay monthly. You also get charged fees. It just doesn't make sense. Speaking of these platforms, eBay has a consumer base where they are really prime decision makers, but they don't do research. And I've seen plenty of times I'm looking at a product that I could get literally at Walmart, hiked up price-wise on eBay. And that's okay. And a lot of drop shippers go on eBay because they know that customers don't really do their research. They don't care. They're willing to spend money. So this is definitely a platform you want to put in your arsenal. Mercari is more like a flea market type of vibe. You want to make sure that you're bundling on Mercari and utilizing the discount options and coupons that you can offer your customers. One thing about Mercari that I do like is that you're able to touch the customer. The customer is able to ask you to bundle and things of that nature. And this is a real big benefit, especially if you want to do less work with a higher outcome. Now, OfferUp and Facebook, I'm gonna put them in the same bucket because these two platforms allow you to do something unique. They allow you to list, but also they allow you to ship and meet people in person. Now, this is going to be a platform, again, since we're talking about the lazy way, you may be just thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to list. No, well, what if I told you I have it to where people are literally meeting me in the shopping center right above or in front of where I'm actually at, right? So if I go ahead and sell a product, I'll send them an address to the nearest shopping plaza and they'll just meet me there. I already got the product in my trunk and I just hand it off to them. Or if I want to sell online, I could do it that way too. These two platforms are hybrids. They allow you to sell both ways. And again, this heightens your reach, especially since one of our main things we got to do if we want to keep laying back, relaxed without having to do work is make our brand speak louder than us. And the way that happens is by being seen, but also converting, showing quality. And also you can take pictures and film when you're meeting people so people actually know that you do this for real. Next, I think the last one I'm going to mention is Poshmark. And this is a platform that I actually just started selling on around 6 to 8 months ago. And it's a platform that has some of the best quality customers I've experienced in a long time. Why? It's very small. The brand is very small and they just started allowing people to sell electronics. But what if I told you that the customers on Poshmark that I actually interact with pay way more than eBay and all the other platforms I mentioned? Because see, what it is it's a small platform, but the quality of customer is very high. And see, you'll realize this too. When you're listing on 5 platforms or even just 4, you'll see that you're making a certain amount of money on one, but others are making money too. It's just a different type of money. Some are only making $20 a week. Some are making $500, some are making $100, some are making $70. It all depends on how you're actually putting your products so the customers can see. Now, while making sure you're listing on all these platforms is important, how is that actually doing it lazy, right? Like, how am I going to be able to do that, and not have to work a lot, right? I still have to list. Well, you do, but you only need one listing to list on all of those platforms. See, what I do is I go to eBay and then I go to the sold tab and then I type in whatever I'm trying to sell. Now I want to see what has actually sold and what picture, what description, what title was used. Now, I used to just copy it and then put it on eBay, but what I do now is I Frankenstein. If it's more than one listing that sold the same product that I'm trying to sell, I'll kind of combine the title with another description from another listing, and then also I'll make sure the price is competitive. Now, with eBay, I'll do that and then I'll promote it. I usually do a 5% promotion and I usually just do general promotions. And it's important that you understand if you are going to do the promotions, make sure it's a profit margin that you could actually handle. So make sure it's like a 65% 65 to 70% profit margin. But I also will take those listings, those pictures, those descriptions and titles, and I'll put it on every single platform so it's universal. Now, one thing I want to say though, is when it comes to platforms like Mercari and Poshmark, those small platforms, what I will do is I'll bundle. So I'll find, let's say I'm trying to list a MagSafe battery pack. I'll go on eBay and try to find a MagSafe battery pack ×2 picture, right? Where it's 2 MagSafe battery packs. And what I'll do is I will put that as a bundle on Mercari, and that will sell. Instead of me just selling one on those smaller platforms, I know for a fact the customers are higher quality, but they also require more value. So you have to understand the value proposition while you're also understanding your consumer. There is a big difference between eBay and these smaller platforms. The smaller platforms are still surviving not because they're better than eBay or even trying to be eBay, but instead it's because the buyers on those platforms require a certain amount of bang for their buck. They want stuff cheap, okay? And you just want to make sure you're bundling it so it makes it seem like they get it cheap. But again, when it comes to listing, you only need one listing per product. And what I do is I'll put that listing into a Google Doc, and then I'll just copy and paste list, copy and paste list, copy and paste list. And then I'll make sure every listing is active on my pages. Next, we want to make sure that we are inspecting what we expect. So out of these platforms that you're listing on, while you're sleeping, while you're doing whatever you're doing, they'll be showing that product to customers. What will also happen is you'll start to be able to see which platform works well for you. You'll have a flagship platform. For me, my flagship platform for a while has been eBay. And that's a really good platform to be a flagship, right? Because it's a big platform. Great. But also one platform that brings me a lot of revenue is Mercari. And see, that is a platform, again, that's a little smaller, but again, gives me high quality customers. Now, these customers are really great, but let's make this clear. We want to capture these customers and take them off of these platforms. Why? Because we don't control these platforms. There's no telling when you're going to get banned, or maybe you may not be able to be seen by certain customers. I mean, there are a bunch of different cases where you can get banned, you can get restricted, you can get shadow banned, you can get a bunch of different things. Let's say the worst of the worst happens and now nobody sees you. Well, you want to be able to extract these customers off of these platforms, and this is going to be the final step of you being able to make money lazy. You want to make money with people going to a website that directly goes to your stuff, not just Mercari or eBay. And this is where a lot of people are, honestly, I would say they're forgetting the point. I think making money is great. And I think some of these platforms, they don't charge you because they want to entice you to think being comfortable here is good enough. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not, because there's a lot of meat on the bones for you to be able to get with this reselling stuff. But you need to create a website. You need to create a website or a stand store or beacons where you have links to products that you're going to sell, right? What I do is I'll actually go ahead when I'm shipping products and I'll put this little poster card in the packaging. So people from eBay, Mercari, wherever can now see I have a website. They can scan the QR code, and I also put a coupon code on here for them to be able to indulge and get a discount. This then gets them onto my website. They become a lead and I capture it. Now I can send them emails of different deals I have and potentially make them a customer for life. This is what you want to do, especially if you want to avoid having to do all of the hard work, paying for marketing, promotion, and being stuck in the same cycle of list, hopefully sell, hopefully get some money off, hopefully not be hit by fees, repeat. You want to make sure you're extracting these customers off of this platform. Is going to make a huge difference in the reselling game. It's going to make a huge difference in your reselling business. Now, if you want low shipping costs, you want high quality products, you want to be able to source in bulk, that's why we have WESPLY.com. That is my wholesale website. Definitely go check it out. Become a We Supply member. Just hit login and sign in. And guess what, guys? You are able to source products directly from the United States with this website. You can get a bunch of different high quality products, even resellers kits where we bundle a bunch of trending products in one box for you to start reselling right now. You can get it as quick as 2 days. And guess what? We make sure that we're not hitting you with fee after fee. We make sure we're not creating false expectations for these products. All products have been tested, used, and are very high quality. We only sell AAA and OEM products. That means we only sell products that are actually certified, they're looked at, and they maintain their integrity. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any questions, I look forward to being able to answer them. Make sure you guys comment below. I will be doing a raffle for everyone that comments on my videos up to the week of the 20th on live. Make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, smash the like button, and I will be putting you in a randomizer to win a Bluetooth speaker on the week of the 20th. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.